Hello again, friends, and welcome to another fine edition of 151 The Show. My name is Adam, and I'm joined by a man who was a part of the Bordis porn addiction episode of The Orville, but his scenes were cut for dubious reasons. Friends, his name is Justin.
Hi, how you doing?
We're 151. You can find out everything you need to know about us at 151theshow.com or this station's website.com, which I swear one day I will just...
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about what the meaning of that is. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr, all at 151 The Show. And we hope that you subscribe to our Podbean, iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, and all the other channels
you
out
name
there.
it.
Also, want to say thank you to Skeleton Vineyards. They bring you this show.
Right.
You can find out more about them at skeletonwine.com or on their Facebook page at Skeleton Vineyards. Today, very special show as we're back at it for the first time in a while after a very crazy 2018. Just
yeah.
God was against this show happening last year.
Yes, between life and the studio flooding.
We're going to start out the new year with a very special interview. Joining us from Los Angeles, friends from the Orville, Tom Costantino, editor and associate producer with the show. What's going on, Tom?
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Justin, I've seen those clips. You know, you're a brave man. They'll never make the light of day, Justin.
Okay. I appreciate that.
I got to tell you, Tom, you're with the Orville, editor and associate producer. We thank you for coming on the show today. And yeah, whoever came up with the Bordis porn addiction episode of the show, I don't know if I want to hug them or shoot them.
Right?
Funny. I think we feel the same way. Well, the irony of the show is that I think everybody thought people were keeping it because we didn't like it, but it was more just, it's a very, very intimate, long process, and we all loved the show. And it was already partially done. We just waited for this season to polish it up and do the visual effects.
I know that, yes, my cut scenes were certainly very intimate and very long. I was surprised at the realism we went.
Well, you'll be on the Blu-ray that never comes out.
Okay.
There we go. Awesome. Tom, hey, thanks for joining us on the show today. We want to talk about the Orville. It's kind of funny how we got hooked up with you. You were some random guy that wrote us on Twitter last year. It was like, hey, you guys live in Los Angeles? And it's one of those, are we getting invited to somebody's basement type feeling? But no, we come to find out you're actually with the Orville. We've talked to a couple big fans in the Orville, and they're like, yeah, Tom's a really cool guy. You should really get to know him. So do we still have an invitation to your basement is what I'm asking.
You do. We have an invitation to the set if we do get this miraculous season 3. I was, you guys adopted us early, and, it doesn't go unnoticed, so I want to do something nice. Well, people want to know what the secret is to get in the hats. The hat is loyalty and early adoption.
Shamelessly plugging our ass off is the big one right there.
Well, it was so refreshing when you guys, when it started coming out and... sort of the general, not only before, but to start to see the show come together and what was coming out was just so, it was refreshing. It was optimistic. It was nice to see.
You want to take his pants off too there, Justin?
Right. Well,
Tom, you there?
No, wait, say it again. I heard it was optimistic.
You still there, pal?
It was. Can you hear me?
Yeah. You kind of cut out there for a second.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now. Yeah. No, what I was saying, it was as.
Oh yeah, no, I heard optimistic, and it was seeing great. It was coming together.
Right, and it was refreshing. It was kind of a breath of fresh air. And then Adam asked if I wanted to take your pants off.
And that's where he left us again. Hello.
We'll edit that part out.
That's all right.
Better? Can you still hear me?
Oh, this is way better.
Oh yeah, this sounds fantastic.
Good. Yeah,
let's do it this way.
Awesome. So, anyways, Tom, as Justin continues to stroke your ego.
Yeah, it's fine. I could use it after this week.
Well,
the part that you've lost us on both times is when Adam says, "Wow, gee, why don't you just take his pants off?"
And then your phone cuts out every time.
Listen, man, we're all friends here. I tell you, whatever gets us through.
Oh, Tom, sorry about the technical issues here. No.
I think they're on my end.
Yes, that's all I needed to hear. Tom,
yes.
Let's start here. When you go to work on the Orville as an editor and associate producer, what's your day start out like? Like, what's the typical day? Like, you go in, high five Seth MacFarlane, and just call it a day from there? Or what's it like?
Yeah, no, it depends on, it's different when we're shooting versus now. When we're shooting, I mean, one thing, the sets are 300 feet away. Mm-hmm. We have 2 stages. It's 11 and 15. The shuttle bay is on 11, along with some other sets. The engine room used to be there. And then on stage 15 is the 2-story set. So, and 80% of our show takes place in the ship. So I'll get the dailies from the day before. I'll start putting them together. If there's a question or something, I'll run over to a set, talk to the gang, mainly it's Seth, and then John Cassar, who's our EP, because they're the guys who will end up dealing with most of it, and get the shows together and just make sure everybody's shooting what we need to shoot, and then Seth will do drop-bys at lunch, or I'll come hang out. I mean, I got my little chair on set, I'll come hang out with them. But then once we're done, then it's me and Seth. That's when because we have and you tell me when you want to cut me off, but we have a different thing here. We don't really have an EP pass. The studio and the network don't really give notes. They give a couple general guiding thoughts, but it's really Seth.
Okay, nice.
So it goes especially when he directs, it goes from him to me, me to him, and then he does this thing we call a Seth pass, and me and him just bang it out and knock the show up a few notches. That's what we're doing right now.
Okay, so you guys are you guys still filming season 2 as we speak, or?
No, but there's the occasional pickup shot.
Okay.
Well, no, we technically wrapped in October, but there's been a handful of days we needed to grab some stuff. Sorry, I'm getting over sickness. Apologize.
That's everybody in Iowa right now, man.
Yeah.
So you're the guy basically that as you go through, you go, oh, we're like, we need 30 seconds to actually transition this and make this work because we missed it.
Yeah, to some degree, yes. But the great thing is that no one does it better than Seth, so he'll notice it at the same time I will. I mean, but he's got, there's so much being done. I mean, even though Fox has been pretty gracious and we, kind of made it possible to do the show, we're still flying so fast and furious that yes, sometimes, hey, we missed that shot. Hey, it would be nice if there's a pickup thing here.
Okay.
It's really easy to miss coverage, especially also even with guest directors who are great but don't always know the show as well as we do.
What is it like bringing in a guest director? Because you brought up a great point there. Some really know the show, some know the source material. Others are like, hey, this is a paying gig.
It varies.
Okay.
I mean, it happens to be that the Trek veterans know it best. Also, they're the most fun to be around, like Robbie. And, I never thought I'd get to actually know Jonathan Frakes, let alone work with Jonathan Frakes.
Right.
If you told my college, Frakes #1 wearing costume junior year of college that I'd be doing that, my head would explode. So those guys are good in the sense that they understand the genre. They kind of know how to shoot bridge stuff. The other thing is that Seth knows what he wants, so it's a little more of a collaborative process than, let's say, on your average NCIS where a guest director comes in and just kind of does their thing and then they fix it after. It's a little more organic on set.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And if it makes you feel any better, yeah, you're talking to a guy who's pretty jazzed right now that he's talking to a guy who knows Jonathan Frakes. So
I get it. He's a hell of a guy. He's exactly in person as he is on the screen, just even nicer.
Does he really sit in chairs like that? Because that'd be awesome.
Or does he put his leg up on everything?
No, he sits down normally in chairs, but and I don't think he'd be embarrassed to tell you this. He would. I never requested this crap of him, but he was in a prep meeting, and someone said, "Oh, can you please just say it?" And he just quietly goes, just dead sounds. It goes, "Red alert!" He's totally chill. He came to our golf tournament. I mean, I can't say enough nice things about the guy. He's a good director too, obviously.
Yes.
I forgot to mention that part.
Tom Costantino from the Orville, editor and associate producer of the show. Justin and I were talking about this. We didn't want it to become, hey, let's talk about how the Orville is different than Star Trek. But what's it like to be on a show that a lot of people, because, I mean, the similarities are there, obviously. The two shows, when Star Trek decided to make another TV show, they came out at about the same time. What's it like to hear people say, wow, the non-Star Trek show is the more Star Trek show of the two that came out?
You're doing Trek better than Trek is.
Well, it's flattering. I mean, I know some people over at Disco. I won't call them STD because they're friends of mine. I haven't seen past the Harry Mudd episode just because I've been working so hard. So it's a very complicated thing. I mean, I love Trek. I grew up on Trek.
Yeah.
All kinds. You know, it feels good in the sense of like, oh my God, and we're, you know, at least someone likes our work. But it just also, it's like, well, we all would like to be friends.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we have a lot of Trek veterans. You know, we're all Trek fans, so it's kind of a labor of love. The best way to say it's a complicated feeling,
right?
You know,
and
other
Tom,
people put us in competition. We don't.
In no way, shape, nor form, at least for what it's worth, from hearing it from this guy, are you guys? When I say you're doing Trek better than Trek, you're not Trek. You are your own thing, and it's pretty amazing.
Look, I'm not. I appreciate it, and Seth would too. But it's, you know, it's okay. We are lovingly poking at the genre that we love so much. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Like we'll say, oh, it's like that shot from Sins of the Father. You know, that's where we're going to do that thing.
Yeah.
No, there's a shorthand. I mean, even when we do sometimes we'll temp the score. Like Seth will do he does his own music pass because obviously Seth is a music maestro. You know, and
that's saying it one way,
right?
Well, yeah, no, but he'll he knows music. He likes major chord music. So James Horner will get into the temp score, or a little bit of Trek. It just happens. And then while we're sitting there and we're mixing it, we'll start just quoting it to each other.
Yeah,
the actual thing.
And
fuck,
and the
like that kind of stuff. It's a complicated question. It's like we're not. It's our own thing, but it's not like we don't love the source material.
Right, and speaking of the music, the inclusion of Billy Joel the other night was fantastic.
Well, I'll let you in a little secret that no one knows here. The original was New York State of Mind, and then Seth he loved it because it was famous, and then he thought better of it, and then we rolled a bunch of different songs and settled on Always a Woman, and then I adjusted the cut to hit where it's supposed to hit. So
I gotta say, your guys' use of Star Trek always seemed like they had like this awkward. Like, hey, what's copyrighted, what's not,
right.
What can we, bring into the show? But you guys have brought in some of the pop culture stuff really well. Like,
thank you.
I think the one of my favorites, and it's so stupid, but it's just funny to me, was the Potato Head.
Oh no, it's my favorite. I cut that scene. It's my favorite. The whole. That's that episode, the pre-episode, right? That's the pre-episode, right?
I want to. It was the they were trying to
because the leg falls from the ceiling when they're arguing with her. Yeah. No. I love. Also directed by Jonathan Frakes. I love. No, it's fine, and we both feel the same way. I know Seth says this all the time. It's not like he does 20th century pop culture, but when you do the fake futuristic music, that stuff ages terribly.
Yeah, terribly.
I'll give you another quick story. The original temping for when Gordon tries to pick up his Elaine in the bar for the season opener.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We used the Stu Phillips Buck Rogers music. But it made the scene so goofy, and that was supposed to be like cool futuristic music.
Right.
In 1980, and it doesn't age well. So,
Tom, here's a question for you: when you try to describe what the Orville is to people, because when the trailers first came out, it looked like sitcom in space, right?
Yeah.
And then you guys have got into some pretty heavy subjects as the show has gone along, and I want to talk about that in a second because I've got a second question along that. But
sure.
How do you describe the show? Like, where do you think it is and kind of fits into the TV world?
It's kind of the thing. It's a streaming show that happens to be on Fox.
Okay.
So it has that kind of sensibility. People don't judge streaming shows the same way they judge a network show. So I think, are we more like Glow in terms of tone? Are we? Our tone is unique. It's a dramedy. The humor is more refined, as you've seen. It's going to keep getting more refined. We're not really a parody, and we're not really an homage. We're just kind of our own thing.
Yeah.
And if we were, sandwiched between three other shows on Netflix, no one would think twice about it.
Mm-hmm.
I just, at this point, I call it a sci-fi dramedy. I mean, because that's really all it is.
Right, but some of the funniest moments in my life have come out of the darkest moments in my life, and I like that you guys will have a funny beat in the middle of, oh, this is really dark, this is really, but funny joke.
That's normal. Gallows humor is the best humor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's some pretty heavy stuff coming up, and we still managed to make a couple jokes in the middle of it. I mean, they're fraught with stress because it's pretty disastrous, which you'll see.
Yeah.
But
Well,
you can still make a joke.
Well, the question about it is, and this kind of leads into the second part of this, because I'm not old enough to remember the first time that the original Star Trek came out. And one of the things everybody always goes back to with that was, they dealt with a lot of really major social issues of the time. And I kind of remember, I was old enough to remember TNG and how they kind of did it. But, you guys come out of the gate in season 1, there's stuff about social media, there's gender issues, there's stuff about religion. Like, was that purposefully done like that? Or was it, hey, this is just a story we want to do? Or is there that thought, hey, we want to deal with this stuff?
I mean, I know all the writers well. I'm not in the room when they're doing it. But, from what we've talked about, there are some of it's just accident and some of it is definitely on purpose.
Well, I was going to say...
Wink.
Well, is it like, Seth goes, hey, I want to do an episode about social media. Make it happen. Or,
I think it's more like these there's some themes and then they sort of back into a show around it.
Okay.
I don't think it's like, hey, let's do a thing on social media. I
mean, season 1, you would think, okay, this show, they're going to do stuff to get people in. It's, going to have a lot of the funny. And then all of a sudden, hey, this society doesn't allow females. Let's do a show on that. Right. I mean, that's for lack of a better term, it's pretty ballsy, man.
I appreciate it. We're paying attention to the world, so
yeah,
it's going to end up in the show.
No, I'm cool with it. It goes back to the trailers. You look at the trailer, it's sitcom in space, but then it comes around gender issues, church, religion, and so on and so forth. That it's
go ahead. We had most of the scripts written, so we knew these episodes were coming up, and we knew we were like turning our ship into the wind. So we also had a lot more faith in the show. Believe me, everyone was like, "Well, wow, they told every joke in the trailer. That's interesting."
Right. Yeah.
I mean, we're also with promo, like we're all a little more. It's a little more organic now. Like they talk to us before they do a promo. We talk to them. Everybody's all friends. We did the Comic-Con reel together. Mm-hmm. So for season 2, so that crap doesn't happen now.
And I do have to say, while we're on the topic of those heavy subjects, that you guys have managed to do them and to tackle them without being, just super heavy-handed or,
like, this is the way it should be done.
Preachy gets used a lot, but yeah, I mean, I really have to say.
Yeah. Oh, glad you think so. All right, there's two of you now.
Oh, fantastic.
I was gonna say, is there an episode that, like, when you do go after the, some of the very controversial stuff, is there a little trepidation about it? Like, this is airing this week, I may not want to show.
Oh, totally. Yeah, no. There's trepidation every 30 seconds about something.
And Seth just threw me to the wolves on Twitter.
Yeah, you go handle the spoilers, Tom. It should be fine.
Yeah, no, it's fine. No, it is what it is. I mean, look, we both love the show. It's like, he's got other people with him who love him too and love the show. It's, look, this is not a news flash. Like, I read Twitter. I read the Reddit. I'm on the subreddit. It's like, oh, thanks, guys. That one hurt.
Now, are you on the Reddit as Tom, from the Orville?
I'm Edit Boy 1000.
Edit Boy 1000?
And it comes up as Tom Costantino because once I did the AMA, they anointed me.
Nice.
But I have gotten into arguments with people where they're telling me something isn't true.
Nice.
And I'm like, well, guys.
I don't know how to tell you this, but I kind of work there.
Right.
I know these people. Tom Costantino.
Now I just kind of want to go on the Reddit and start fights and point them his way.
Oh, yeah.
Just because I'm that guy.
Yeah, I know, right?
But start fights with me?
No. Start fights and wind people up and send them your way.
Oh God, no! I don't look. I'll never. None of us. Like, there's some pretty harsh opinions. I'll never stop somebody from an opinion. I got one line, and I did. Me and Lex Kassar, who designs most of the lovely props and things you see. Most of the cool stuff. He was they were going after him about the show, the 201 being boring, and he said, well, more exciting stuff's coming up, which is true. Is now you finally saw that we had marauders and people stuck on planets and big expensive crap. we weren't lying. We created Zalea. We weren't lying. But it was like, will you give it a second? Give it a second. And then those guys went after him and said, like, well, you don't work on the show. And I was like, oh, that's my only pet peeve. Like, I would never waste your time.
A couple more questions for you, and then we'll let you get back to your day.
No worries.
As we are talking about season 1 and season 2 here, and things that you guys are doing. When you got done with season 1 and you were looking to do season 2, a lot of TV shows, they'll make tweaks. Nothing, not wholesale changes or anything like that, but little things just to, hey, I think we can do this better. What are some of those changes you guys made for Orville from season 1 to season 2?
Well, I think there were some tweaks to how the comedy was organically done. That was in the writers' room. I think from a production standpoint, there were some tweaks to the costumes. Isaac actually lost a couple of belts, so he looks a little more organic. We also changed our production flow a little. We try to get some more time to nuance the things we wanted to nuance. So if we needed to shoot a battle, we tried to pick up an extra day. Mm-hmm. But mainly it was more about, just allowing things to breathe, not trying to cut it like a single cam comedy at every, second.
Yeah.
Those extra 5 minutes really helped. So It's really just sort of like letting it be what it wants to be and not worrying about what people think about it so much.
Okay.
And if you like it, great. And if you don't, we apologize.
Ironically, Isaac lost a couple of belts but gained 4 zippers.
Yes, he did. He gained some zippers. There's all sorts of, got to keep Mark happy. At least he can breathe in the helmet now. We almost killed him during the first season.
Geez.
It doesn't anytime there's like a robot costume, someone always almost dies.
Oh yeah, pretty much. Yeah, no. Choctaw, we almost killed the Choctaw. Look, everybody tries, but there's more people stuck in unbreathable stuff coming up.
Oh, awesome. Perfect.
Yeah.
That's what we want to hear.
That's a spoiler hint, but I won't. I'll let you extrapolate from there.
I want to see more gags like the knife to the hand, the board game.
Oh, that was great.
Oh, like that kind of thing?
Yeah. I don't care what you do, like really drama-wise. I just want to see more people get stabbed in the hand with a knife.
I'm trying to. Well, we got leg stabs last year.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's any more. We stabbed Bortus. I don't know if there's any more specific stabbery, but I think there's some other really
when Scott Grimes
stuff coming up.
When Scott Grimes hopped onto the bridge missing a leg, I just about peed my pants. That was funny.
Every take of that was kind of he hopped for like an hour on one leg. He was exhausted by the end of it.
Between that, the Bortus stuff is actually, I'm starting to learn, is probably my favorite part of the show. Between that and the peeing scene, where everybody yelled at the same time,
geez.
the ritual.
By the way, just to help with the spoiler, I appreciate that. It was intentional not to hear the pee. It flies out. Like people think it was like a network censoring. No, that was Seth's. No, let's not make a thing. Let's make a thing about the ceremony, not about the actual urine.
Right.
You know what?
So that was deliberate. I know people think it's like, why don't I hear pee?
You know what? I want to say that I think when my wife and I were watching that I said, I was waiting to hear like a waterfall or something.
Well, by the way, for the record, if you're peeing off of a mountain, where's that sound going to come from?
Right.
But that was more than that. It was meant. It was deliberately not to make it a joke about that, and more about the seriousness of the Mocklin culture.
Which of all the cultures we've seen so far, who are we going to? Where's season 2 going? Who are we going to learn more about?
All right. Well, I'm
okay. That's kind of.
I'm going to come out and say it. No. This is not a. Let's just say you'll get some more Mocklin stuff.
Okay.
You'll learn a little more about Claire. You're going to definitely learn more about Isaac.
Okay.
There's Kelly's got it. I know Adrian already spilled the beans. There's a big Kelly 2-parter coming up. Everybody gets their due. Right. Gordon's got a couple of narrative-driven ones. We're working on one right now that's got its roots in a TNG. And everybody. You're going to learn more about everybody. So a lot of world building.
And then
explosions.
Yeah,
explosions.
Explosions. Okay. I love it.
Thank God.
I have a question that kind of occurred to me the other night, Tom, and especially where we touched it, not to go back to Discovery or Disco, but you guys, came out the same day. STD, yeah. The one thing that I occurred to me last night in thinking about this, you guys both in the first season had a huge... first season for them, ongoing for you guys, but you guys both have an adversary has a light sensitivity. That just struck me. Was that just a incredibly weird coincidence.
See, this is the thing. I haven't had a chance. What, did the Klingons have it on theirs, or who?
Nobody. You haven't seen past the Harry Mudd episode.
You haven't seen past the Harry Mudd episode.
So you haven't seen when the Zombie King comes back?
Yeah. No. And little secret. I'll let you in a little secret. My in-laws are friends with Lorca.
Are they?
We get Uncle Jay. We call him Uncle Jason. He's like. So I got to know spoilers too. So I had the season ruined for me.
Nice. Okay. Well, if you've had this season...
No, but I didn't know about that. No, that was in the same way that everyone went after Seth about Lieutenant Tyler, right? Yeah. Having a similar name.
Right.
This is nothing to do with anything, is that Seth watched the pilot of Disco, and we've been so nuts that we keep talking about how we're going to stream the rest of Season 1 and Season 2, but we're going to do it after we stop this madness on ourselves. So he hasn't seen it. So it's just it's literally a coincidence.
Okay.
Then you must spoil it for him. Then you must do things to torment this man.
Oh, for which part?
Spoil it all. You have the power here, Tom.
Oh, I wouldn't do. No.
Come on.
I'm not gonna do that to him. No. I mean, he knows a few of the things. It's not like the internet is so watertight. I mean, everybody retweets every single spoiler. People retweet spoilers, and I was like, how the hell they learn that? Just by guessing. The show hasn't even aired yet. So
wasn't it some dude with? Are you a Game of Thrones guy at all?
Yeah, a little bit.
What was the story with the guys that did the HBO version of it with the book, that they actually figured out how the story was going to end, and that was how they kind of got the job? Wasn't that?
Something like that.
Yeah, it was.
I think that's a true story. Yeah, that's kind of there is some truth to that. I mean, I don't know the full story, but I know that it does. That kind of stuff does get you noticed, for better or for worse.
Well, and you don't. He doesn't want to spoil everything for Seth and be like, oh, Tom's really been looking forward to this guest star or this guest director. Hey, it's Seth. Let's cancel that, by the way. Haha, screw you, Tom.
Yes, because Seth MacFarlane seems like that petty of a man.
Right.
He's the anti-petty, especially when it comes to that stuff. I mean, he's curious. I mean, look, it's not a big deal. We're curious to see where Discovery's going. I mean, we got a little short a lot of the elevator gag. I'm not going to lie. Like, really, you're doing the elevator thing?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But, like, I worked on One Mississippi. I love Tig Notaro. I think that's the greatest casting in the history of casting. So,
well, I do got to ask. I mean, with that kind of in mind, where is this show going? Is it going to go the route of, hey, let's do 6-7 seasons and then look at a movie, or is there kind of a thought of?
Realistically, I think it'd be a couple more seasons and then maybe a movie, assuming that everyone can, work it together. I mean, there's a certain working style and pace of our show. The network has its own needs, and everybody can figure it all out. Mm-hmm. They'll definitely go a few more seasons. It's a labor of love for Seth. He pours his heart and soul into it. So
you always look at it. Where is this show going to be in 5 years? And it's like
6 seasons in a movie. Come on, man.
Okay, I'm cool.
Maybe. I mean, I'll be honest with you. It'd probably be more like 3 or 4 seasons in a movie. It's just because literally it's not done by committee.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
I mean, everybody who's on the show is there because they love it, but it's more artisanally handcrafted. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
And it'll burn you out faster.
Tom Costantino from the Orville. He's an editor and associate producer. Tom, we appreciate you coming on the show today. We've talked your ear off for about a half hour now, so I think we'll let you get on with your day, man.
No, it's my pleasure, and you guys, whatever you guys need, you know where to find me on Twitter and all that garbage. But seriously, whatever you guys need, you're the best. No, I mean, you got my emails. You know where to find me. I'm always happy to help.
Awesome. Tom, you have yourself a good day, and thank you again for coming on, man.
All right, sounds good.
All right, we'll see you, sir.
All right, great.
Bye.
Bye.
And that would be Tom.
Tom's a good guy.
Tom is a very good guy. Tom Costantino. I have a hard time saying his name sometimes. Editor and associate producer for The Orville joined us on the show today. That's going to do it for us on this edition of the show. I'm really super stoked that we got to talk to Tom. And
just breaking news, 4 seasons in a movie. You can bank that.
Yeah, bank it. Guarantee it. That's why I wanted to get off the phone with him, just so we could guarantee something without him knowing.
Right. So next week when this gets picked up by every media, so associate producer on The Orville says 4 seasons in a movie. He's going to be like, what did you do to me?
What the man? All right, friends, that is going to do it for us. This is 151 The Show. We're presented by Skeleton Wine. You can find out more about them at skeletonwine.com or on their Facebook page at Skeleton Vineyards. As for us, 151theshow.com or thisstationswebsite.com.
Yes.
We hope you find us on social media in the form of Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr, all at 151 The Show. What am I missing? Oh, subscribe to our channels.
Yes. So thank you for enjoying this special audio episode because, Tom joined us by phone and we didn't have a cardboard cutout or anything to stick up in the chair, but we'll be coming at you here shortly again with both the audio versions and the full us in glorious high definition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, friends, that's going to do it for us. Have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you next time.
Later.